rocking out. There you go, Kyle.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to Whissel Weekends here on AM 1170. The Answer. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty, joined as always by Mr. Jason Hall, Team Home Loans. And before the break, we had Dan Maurer with Sequoia West in here, one of the top flip teams in San Diego. If you are interested in learning more about flipping, if you've got a property, you're in a tough situation, you need a lifeline, these guys are there to help you. Give us a call, shoot us a text, we'll get you connected. 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. So Jason, before the break, you were asking, what do I think is going to happen with the real estate market in 2018? And I think 2018 is going to be very similar to 2017. It's going to be very similar to 2016. It's going to be very similar to 2015. Barring any kind of insane things happening, war and, stuff like that, there's really not a lot on the horizon that's going to change the trajectory that we've been on. What we've seen happening over the last, few years is that inventory's been constricting a little bit. And that's caused the time on market, or time it takes to get your house into escrow, that's been decreasing a little bit. And the number of homes on the market, the supply has been decreasing a little bit, which is in turn causing values to go up a little bit, which going up a little bit is exactly what we want to see. Being in the real estate industry, I've been in this now for literally half of my life, which is kind of crazy. I bought my first home when I was in college at UCSD. And I've seen years where we've had 20, 30% up, and I've seen years with 20 or 30% down. I don't ever want to see that again. Although it's fun to ride the wave up, it's really rough when that wave comes crashing down on you. So I'm loving what we've seen. Most every year over the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen appreciation around 5%, plus or minus a couple percent here, plus or minus a couple percent there. And I think 2018 is going to be very similar to that. So I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 5, maybe 10% appreciation. Like Dan was talking about, there's certain pockets that are doing a little bit better than others. And we'll definitely in this segment talk about some of those pockets I like and why I like them. But I think you're going to see much of the same here in 2018. 5% conservatively, 10% if you want to be a little bit aggressive. But I think that's what you're going to see appreciation-wise. So what I want to talk to is if you're listening to the show right now, and you have been on the fence about buying a home, and I know a lot of people I talk to in their head, they're like, oh, the market's gone up for the last 6 or 7 years. Like, I don't want to get in now. It's too late. Again, there's nothing that's going to change that I can see.
Right.
That's going to change the market.
Right?
And you got to live somewhere. You're paying a mortgage, whether you like it or not. The thing is, you're either paying your own mortgage or you're paying your landlord's mortgage.
So why do you think it is so many first-home buyers are afraid of getting in when the market's gone up? So they're, is it maybe because they saw family? Because a lot of them never even bought a house, and they're trying to be timing experts. Like, when do I get in? It's like, you should always get in. Yeah,
you're not trading stock here. You're putting your family in a home, whether it's the home that you and your, Dan's just got engaged, your daughter just got engaged, whether it's, a couple's first home, whether they just had kids, need a bigger home, or you're retiring and want a smaller, single-story home. You're going to live in this home. And I see people make a mistake all the time of getting fixated on the investment side of it. And yes, there is an investment side, but at the end of the day, it's so important to realize this is the home you're going to live in. This is the home you're probably going to raise your family in or retire in. You really got to keep that. That's at the forefront of what's happening. So don't make the mistake of going after the best deal and go live in a crappy neighborhood. I mean, if you've I've got a young daughter, I'm not going to go and move to a terrible neighborhood with terrible schools just because it's a good deal. Right. For me, and at the point in life I'm at, safety and schools are very important to me. So that's what I'm going to go after. If you're retired and you just want a nice, simple life, maybe you're going to go move to like a 55-plus community where there's other people, similar age and activities. If you're young,
there's some great ones out there in San Diego that people don't even know about.
Exactly. So you want to move to the area that's going to suit your lifestyle and suit your life goals at that point. So that's first and foremost, is always keep that in mind. This is not just an investment. This is where you're going to live. But what I do want you to think about is the opportunity that it creates for you financially, and that you have two options right now. You either pay rent, which you thereby are paying somebody else's mortgage, or you pay your own mortgage. And if you've been following rents at all, rents have been going up 5 to 10% a year,
Yeah.
every single year.
More than probably the house prices.
Exactly. Right. Rents are going up as fast, if not faster, than house prices. So every month when you're paying that rent and then you get that rental increase notice and then you get another rental increase notice, realize that you could be on the other side of that coin. And you could be the one, if you own rental property, you could be the one giving those notices. How cool would that be? Instead of getting pissed off that you're getting a rental increase notice, you could be excited that you're giving a rental increase notice. How cool would that be, right? Think about that. That's awesome. Or think about you're the homeowner, and while all your friends who are renting are getting those rental increase notices and getting pissed off, you're sitting pretty because you got a 30-year
Fixed
payment
nothing's
on
changing.
your house, and it's not changing. Year after year, that payment is relatively the same as it was the year before. Meanwhile, your friends have watched their rent. I mean, I used to rent here. Our studio is in the UTC area. I used to rent at Costa Verde, and what I paid $900 for when I was in college is now almost $2,000 a month for that exact same place.
Cracker Jack box.
Think about that. If you would have bought at that time and fixed your payment, meanwhile, your friend stayed in the same place for that same period of time. They're paying twice as much money for the exact same thing. Meanwhile, you're paying the exact same amount that you've been paying since day one. Like, how cool is that? So if this is something you're interested in, learning more about the market, getting into homeownership, we'd love to talk to you. You can always call or text us here at the show, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. Again, you're listening to Whissel Weekends, AM 1170, The Answer. The other side of it to think about, Jason, is if somebody does want to buy, despite what a lot of people believe, you don't need 20% down to buy a home. You don't need 10% down to buy a home. You could actually buy a home with no money down, which is crazy to think about. We recently listed a property up in Julian, and conveniently, Julian falls within the United States Department of Agriculture areas.
Yep,
So
USDA.
talk about, yes, USDA or U.S. Department of Agriculture. Talk about the loan that they've got available when somebody buys in one of those more rural areas.
Yeah, so if you buy in an area outside of your normal city limits, again, rural area, you're allowed to get a government-insured loan with zero down. So that's a non-VA loan. This is an additional, separate from VA, a zero down loan. So I even have a client looking outside of Murrieta, and once you get a little bit more east, there's a condo that's falling in those limits. And she was like, tell me about this. I was like, well, you can get 0% down. There's no mortgage insurance. They do have a funding fee, similar to FHA, but it's a lot cheaper than FHA. And it made a lot of sense when she ran the numbers. She's like, wow, if I get this condo, I definitely want to do a USDA loan, put no money down, save my savings, keep my payment nice and low, and it's a very low rate. So it's very similar to almost like a VA loan for those of us who didn't serve. And again, it's just for the areas that are rural areas. So we're talking Ramona, places outside Alpine, Harbinson Canyon. It's right there. It's on the cutoff. You and I have looked at that before. Places outside of Escondido, definitely Fallbrook. There's a lot of different spots that you can actually get in with no money down. So if that's your challenge, which for a lot of first-time home buyers, they're paying so much in rent, as you mentioned, Kyle, their biggest thing is, how do I save the down? Well, maybe you just have to go a few miles away and you get in with zero down.
I love it. So that's amazing. Zero down, whether you are a former military, active duty, you can get the VA loan, which is zero down. You buy in some of these rural communities, you could get zero down. So let's talk about, you're listening to the show. The most common loan type out there right now for a first-time buyer is?
Probably FHA or conventional. I mean, if your credit's good, we're doing a lot of 3%, 5% conventional loans. FHA is one of your other big ones, and that's for, 3.5% down. That's a very common loan, but we're doing so many conventionals. That's almost more common right now with Fannie and Freddie with doing 3-5% conventional than even an FHA loan. And then we do a ton of VA loans, as you mentioned earlier.
Right.
But one of the things I want to ask, because I know we're getting short on time, is where's these favorite pockets you like in San Diego? That's the nugget here. Where's the pockets that Kyle Whissel thinks is a great place to buy in San Diego right now?
Absolutely. So 3 of my favorites that have consistently been my favorites for a while, because more and more school ratings and safety ratings have come into play and become an important part of the buying decision for people. I love up in North County. I love San Marcos. I think it's very underpriced for what you get. And there's a lot of stuff up there now. I mean, there's tons of restaurants and shops, and there's some master plans parts of it. Their high school just got completely redone. So I love San Marcos up in North County. Down in Central East County, part of San Diego, I love Santee. That's where I've chosen to raise my family. I love the schools. I love the people. I love everything about Santee. It's amazing. And if you go down into South Bay, I love East Lake, that Otay East Lake Ranch area. I said East Lake Ranch. Otay Ranch, East Lake area. That is all master plan down there. I love all of that. Everything is nice. It's new. Very, very nice community down there, and the schools are great. But the emerging ones, the ones that are up and coming that I really, really like a lot. La Mesa Village, I'm huge on right now. There's so much cool stuff in La Mesa Village. It used to be nothing but antique shops and thrift stores, and it's become like the new hipster, like kind of fun new restaurants coming in left and right. So I love La Mesa Village. I love Imperial Beach, and I love Barrio Logan. Barrio Logan, Imperial Beach, both areas that have been kind of gritty a little bit. Oh, maybe we don't go there. Those areas are huge opportunities right now. There's a lot of stuff. And when you start seeing breweries and you see restaurants and the coffee shops and stuff come in, that's where people tend to follow. And so
you're
La
seeing
Mesa Village, Imperial Beach, Barrio Logan, those are my 3 up-and-coming areas that I really, really like a lot. So if you're interested in learning more about buying, learning more about the areas we love, reach out to us, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. Thank you so much for tuning in to Whissel Weekends here on AM 1170. We'll talk to you next Saturday.